Hey guys, what's up? My name's Art. Today is Wednesday, 7:30. You might be hearing the lawnmower out front. You know, not out front, but as you know, it is lawn season. So I hear lawnmowers every freaking day. And they're so freaking loud I can't tell where it's from. Trying to work in lawnmower all day long. I'm like, oh well. I guess the lawn has to be cut regardless. Okay. What happened? No, one thing is before I get started is that my laptop has a camera on it. Okay. Most laptops these days have cameras built in, and what happens is that what I've been doing, I've been covering up the camera when I'm not in use. So you can see I put my finger on there. So what happens? I put like a piece of paper right on there, tape. So when I'm not using it, if I was get hacked, they can't see anything. They could probably hear. They could turn on the microphone and hear things, but they can't see what's going on. And I did that for my work one as well. Still drinking this. After this, I have 2 cans left. Now, do I get drunk off of that? The answer is no. But anyway. I had a very good couple days. Work has been going pretty well. Didn't realize that Monday is a holiday. Didn't realize that until today. Especially when I saw an email and said, hey, make sure you put all your time in before Friday morning. So that means I got to figure out before the end of tomorrow if I'm gonna work a full day or not. And since we're working from home, it doesn't really matter too much. Okay. Now, a couple of videos ago, I said that I have a bad feeling about something, and what happened was I figured it out what it was. The past weekend should have been the Motor City Comic Con. Okay, the past weekend that just passed. And I go to it every year. For the last 10 years, I've been going to it every year. Last 20 years, I only missed it twice. Because I was sick. I was sick for some strange, I was sick. Or I didn't have a car or some weird thing like that. Something weird. But that was that, and I usually look forward to it every year. And of course, because of COVID-19 situation, they canceled it in late March. In late March because I was hoping that it would take like a month for all to clear, and of course no. So they canceled everything. This would have been a very cool ass year for me, for autographs, signings, and all sorts of stuff. So I don't get to do it this year. Okay. But hopefully there's another comic convention in Detroit. I think it's in July or August. So maybe that might still be on. Hope so. At least I could do something. Okay. So here's it. The reason why I wanted to do this, I want to talk about this book right here. It's called Birds of Prey. Now, Birds of Prey is technically a Batman spin-off book. And to a certain extent, it is a very good book. Actually, it's a very good book whatsoever. It's starring the main character is Barbara Gordon, who changed her name to Oracle. If you ever read the Batman: The Killing Joke, where when the Joker shot her and basically destroyed her spinal column, and if you saw the animated movie that goes along with it, this is what happens afterwards. When she decides to become Oracle, she becomes the default computer person for every DC comic character. And what happened is, she's the brains, and then she hires. She doesn't hire, but she recruits people to do the legwork missions. Now the funny thing is, this is an all-woman team. It's an all-woman team. Okay, and whoever came up with this idea was a very good idea. I can't remember who did, and I should have did some more research on it, but it doesn't really matter because after this, now I'm not going to read another one of these yet. Maybe until later. But this is a collection. This is volume one, but this is a collection of different stories and different story arcs. First you have like Black Canary right over here, who was usually tied with Green Arrow, the Huntress, who's another Batman spin-off character, and sometimes Catwoman shows up. And then later versions of Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy. The running thing with Birds of Prey is always all women. So which means that if it's all women, is there an agenda? Is there a female agenda? And the answer is yes and no. Even the Birds of Prey even had a spin-off TV show back in the early 2000s, which wasn't a very good show. But you could probably catch it online or buy it for cheap or whatever. What happened? Birds of Prey was written by Chuck Dixon at first, who was regarded as a very good Batman writer, and which kind of sometimes surmised that sometimes men could write women better than women could write women. Sounds strange, sounds crazy, but in a way that's almost true, because nowadays there's a bunch of women writers out there. Bunch of women writers out there, and most of the stuff they try to do is trying to say that, hey, I'm better than a man. For example, was it a year and a half ago? There was a trailer for the Batwoman television show. And I tried to watch the first episode of that 5 times, and I still have yet to finish it because it just didn't feel right. Girl, I forgot the lady's name. Boy, I forgot the lady's name offhand. Something Kane. According to the story, she becomes Batwoman after Batman saves her life. Fine. That's the book. TV show, she wants to become a vigilante. She figures out Bruce Wayne is Batman and decides to somehow confiscate his gear and tailor it to her whims and say that she can do a better job. Well, it's almost seemed like, for example, a couple years ago there was a new Ghostbusters movie featuring all women. Now, I thought that was pretty interesting. What happened is they basically rebooted the Ghostbusters franchise. They tried to reboot the Ghostbusters franchise, and basically says that what happened in the past is the past. This is brand spanking new. We're going to do it better than what the original guys was. Now the funny thing is, the the other guy, the Bill Murray, Ivan Reitman, Dan Aykroyd, and the other guy, which name always eludes me, Ivan Ivan something, Reitman or something like that. They're all friends, and they all wrote the story together. That's why and plus they did a lot of ad libbing, so that's way it made more sense. Then they added Ernie Hudson to round it up, and boom, there you go. That's a good movie. So they decided to make this movie. See, because what happened, they wanted to do a Ghostbusters 3, but not everybody wanted to do it. So these people say, hey, we'll make it with girl power. Now, if you want to look at that movie in itself and with no other reference, it's a pretty decent movie. They used the original cast members as stepping stones to legitimize the movie. What they should have did, in my opinion, they should have said, okay, these are the old guys. They're teaching you how to be to be the new Ghostbusters, and you take it off from there. If they did that, it would probably been a much better movie. Well, we see a resurgence of this nowadays, where there's a lot of female characters. Like, for example, the Black Widow movie should have came out about a month ago, but it got pushed back with COVID-19. And the fun thing is, every MCU fan, movie fan, wanted a Black Widow movie for the longest time, and they finally do it after everything's all said and done, because it didn't fit in with their plans. And because I know that's going to be a hit movie and it's going to be very sensible. But let me get back to this. This was written very, very good. They're not trying to replace Batman. Even though they operate within Gotham City and everywhere else, they're not trying to replace Batman. They just don't want to involve Batman. That's the thing. They in one scene where the Huntress and the Catwoman was helping them out, and Batman shows up in the scene, they hid because they didn't want Batman to know, because Batman would have had some choice words. And of course, Batman's word is law. Now, sooner or later, there's another writer named Gail Simone will take the Birds of Prey and take it to new heights. But the problem is that sometimes her feminist agenda gets into the way. There's nothing wrong with feminism. Feminism, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that it's just like any concept today. It doesn't mean the same, because people take it and dilute it and change it around. Think of racism or racist. Because people throw that word out and try to describe things that is not that. So that means the original meaning of racism is so watered down and defined that it's not really effective anymore. But the thing is that you take three women, well, mostly just two women in this one. They're very strong characters, and they work, and they have to learn to work together. And this is like the beginning of it, and they were at odds, where like they're not really understanding things. Barbara Gordon was like, "I'm the boss. You do as I say," and then what happened? Black Canary is like, "I'm on the ground. I'm calling audibles," and she does it many times. And a lot of times, Black Canary was in the right. Barbara Gordon just sit there looking at a screen. She can't see she can't see what's going on. So here's the thing. I bought this book at a discount store for $5. Is this a good value for $5? Yes. So if you see this book for $5 or less, I wouldn't pay the $15. I wouldn't pay the $20 for it. Maybe I would have years ago, but this got it for $5. So I think this is I would say this is a very good book. In terms of feminism or forced diversity, I have nothing wrong with that as long as you do it correctly and make it seem organic. It's just like, for example, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was this very popular show called The West Wing, and people was crying foul that there was not a black character on the show. So they just put a black character on the show. But the shows, and a funny thing, that's another hilarious part. I remember back in the 90s, there was a show called Living Single. It revolves what, 4 women and 2 men, all black, living in the same, pretty much same house, same, not house, but same brownstone apartments complex, except for one lived somewhere else or something like that, but they was always around. And they get into little misadventures and and they go to central places and have really bad adventures. Of course, it was starring Queen Latifah, an old hip hop artist, Kim Coles, who was part of the Damon Wayans family. I think she was. Some other girl who I've never seen before. These 2 dudes I've never seen before, but I guess one's a comedian. And of course, Kim Fields, who was Tootie from Facts of Life. And then what happens within a couple years after, and the show was a big hit, a couple years later, there's a show called Friends. Coincidence? Maybe. But the thing is that Friends worked because, even though I hated the show, I hated watching the show, I hated to the death, it worked because these people were organic and everything else. Living Single worked because it was very organic. Okay? When you try to be diversity just for the sake of it, for example, replacing Iron Man with a 13-year-old black girl, and you just replace her like that instead of having her being like a mentor kind of thing, then let her do her own thing, then she takes over. It's like James Rhodes when he became War Machine. He was a supporting character for Iron Man. When Iron Man's going through his alcoholic phase, James Rhodes stepped into the Iron Man. He became Iron Man for a long time. Tony Stark kicked the habit, took Iron Man back, created War Machine for James Rhodes, and boom, there we go. When it's organic, it works. I'm going to make this character just because. But then again, here's the thing. Take Miles Morales. They created this guy because they had him. They wanted to kill off a Peter Parker in this universe. They just wanted to do it because they couldn't figure out what to do for Spider-Man. So they can't figure out what to do. Instead of canceling it, just kill him off and replace him with somebody else. So when he died, Miles Morales became the new Spider-Man. Even in the comic book, they didn't accept this guy at first, but he had to win them over. So what happens when somebody is introduced and he had to take over and take charge, that's okay to a certain extent if you do it right. And even though now he's crossed over into the real universe, it makes sense. But anyway, that's my thoughts for today, Wednesday evening. I hope. No, I have not bought a new phone yet. No. I'm thinking about waiting for this weekend. Because after I get off of work, I really don't feel like doing anything. I just feel like lounging around. feel like lounging around. That's it. I'm not doing much. Um, wow. I think I spent. I think I'm done because after 20 odd minutes, which I say right now, I said everything I can, and I wasted your time enough. I wouldn't say a waste of time. I made you lose 20 minutes of your own time. So now you be nice. So after you see this video, you'll be nice and refreshed to get back doing what you got to do. All right. If you like what I got to say, click a like or dislike. You want to leave me want to say something to me? You know, write it down. No, talking to the cat. If you want to share this video, go ahead and share this video. But hey, that's up to you guys. So with that, I hope you have a great week, rest of the week, and hopefully I'll see you over the weekend. All right, talk to you later.